Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. And today I get to sit down with my new buddy, Bo Stacks, who is the president and publisher of the world's oldest e newsletter. We're going to talk about it in a second. It's called Heard on the Web. Bo, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Johnny. Great to be here.
You are a character, man.
I would accept that I'm an interesting dude.
You're an interesting dude already, just off camera. I'm getting in the little bit that I've met you. I'm glad we get some time to dig in. So can you tell us a little bit about Heard on the Web? And you said the world's oldest newsletter. So how'd you come by that achievement?
In the late 1980s, I was working for Ziff Davis, a computer magazine empire. And part of our success was that we sold out every magazine. Once we sold out, people wanted to put inserts into every form. So I swear I could insert a hammer into a magazine if need be with that skill set. So they jobbed me out to this little company, America Online. They had 25,000 subscribers at the time, and they wanted to insert diskettes into magazines.
Yeah.
It wasn't just me. It was a team of printers and marketing people, but we figured out how to do that. And AOL in 1988 gave me a free account.
Yeah.
In the years when you used to have to pay on an hourly basis, I was whitelisted.
Wow.
Not only whitelisted, they let me send bulk emails, which nobody could do in 88 through AOL. You had to be on the whitelist. So I'm looking at this and I'm going, well, I'm a publisher since 1972, sending words over the phone. That's intriguing. So I figured if I knew how to do that, I'd be more employable than my production peers. And it turned out, without having a business plan, it ended up doing what I do. 16,000 emails sent every day around the world.
Wow. That's incredible. Now, I'm sure it's been a journey this is what you're doing like solely at this point, right? In terms of your profession, your work that you do?
That's correct.
How long did it take to get there to where that happened? I mean, how much career did you have before you were able to go on your own?
I left the workforce in 96, so I've been self-employed for 33 years.
Wow.
Now, but I did start, see, I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I started 2 newspapers in the early 70s. Then we went on and helped found and run High Times magazine, still an entrepreneurial operation. And then I got into corporate America, where I worked for Time Inc., Ziff Davis, McCall's magazine, wrote a gravure I learned along the way. And the fascinating thing to me is that the corporate world didn't beat out the entrepreneur in me. They tried like hell, but I wouldn't operate the way the corporate church did. I always tried to save money. This was weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had a fascinating, lucky career, newspapers, magazines, B2B, consumer.
Yeah.
And in 96, well, here's what really happened. I was sending it out every day because I still felt it was positive for my career. This will help me stay employed. And then a printer, who I guess should remain nameless, said, I want to advertise in your newsletter. I go, no, I don't want to be beholden to anybody. I want to say what I want to say. And then he made me an offer that I could not and did not refuse. And that was the start of how it became a lucrative business. But I did it for 20 years.
Yeah.
In the years when I wanted it to have the current date when you got the email, so I stayed up to 12:05 every night to send out the newsletter with an appropriate date. And it turns out I practice something called appointment journalism. Meaning my newsletter goes out precisely the same time every day, no matter what. I see too many publishers sending out their newsletters in haphazard, no schedule at all. I don't care if it's an annual. You should have a schedule and stick to it.
Yeah. Now, how did you learn? So that requires extraordinary discipline. I mean, I'm from the outside looking in. I'm like, okay, you're staying up till, what did you say, 12:05?
12:05, which it still goes out at 12:05, but it's automated.
It's automated, so you can go to sleep.
But what happens is I've trained my readers all over the world when it's coming. I was giving a lecture in Australia, and I was explaining to them how the newsletter is, coffee and Bo. and they say, "You do know we get it at 2 p.m., right?" And I go, "Ah, yes, that's actually true."
Yeah.
So yeah, I've trained everybody on when to get it, and they look forward to it.
So when did now I'm talking about you now. Um, that story you just told tells me something about you. It seems like you have some drive. It seems like you have some vision. It seems like you have some ability to be consistent over time, over decades, right? You said you did it for 20 years for free, but something was motivating you to stay up until 12:05 and do it for free for 20 years.
Oh, there's several layers to that onion. One, I love publishing. I love the distribution of information. That's what I consider. We are now information distributors,
Yeah.
formerly known as publishers.
Yes. Yes.
Um, yeah, I love the industry. It's all my way of giving back. I was mentored by the three greatest production guys in my previous generation. And this newsletter is just my way of giving back to the industry. It is a passion on my part. I am mentoring in the only way I know how.
Yes. Yeah. So were you always able to be consistent like that? Because I know people. I'm not this way, but I have a friend who he says, you know what, I'm going to work out every day for the next year, and then he does it, right?
Mhm.
Like I don't know a lot of people like that, but I know a few people like that. Did you always have that willpower, or was it this passion
No,
that
no,
unlocked that for you?
it's no, the rest of my life is not as organized, not as functional, not as
Yeah.
scheduled.
Yeah.
But the newsletter, my relationship to publishing is filled with passion and a will to give back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty stinking amazing, man. So along the journey, man, can you tell us, a little another defining moment for you? You know, what was a defining moment? There was one that you already told us, which I think is when you got your first advertiser. I'd love to hear another one if you have one.
Here's the thing. What I've learned, which I think is a life lesson for everybody, and I learned this early, probably at high times. Every problem has a solution. You do not have to know the answer. You just have to be able to find the answer.
Yeah,
If your skill set in finding answers, then you're good to go.
yeah. So you've used that. That is what you'd point to as a big part of why you've had
That's not
success in this career.
foundational. That's my foundation in how I approach life. Um, One of my mentors, which I mentioned just a few minutes ago, he said to me, "Bo, we don't need to know the answer. We just need to find the answer." And that just struck home like a lightning bolt. And for the rest of my production career, of which there's always problems in production, well, I never panic, ever. I mean,
Yeah,
that's part of my personality, no matter
yeah,
what. If there's a crisis, I'm the guy you want in the room.
yeah.
Um, but I know I'll always find the answer.
When did you discover that? When did you? Because we learn things about ourselves, right? We learn. When did you discover I'm the guy that stays calm when everybody else is panicking?
High
You know,
times.
it was at high
High
time.
times.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're all in our 20s and early 30s, and most of us were journeymen in the process. And like any startup, there's issues, there's problems, oh my God, what are we going to do? It's not solvable. And the thing that I enjoyed greatly, and my editor despised, was the bigger the crisis got, the calmer I got. And it drove her crazy.
yeah,
And I eventually did it on purpose, just
yeah,
because.
yeah,
Don't worry, there's a solution. I don't know what it is yet, but there's a solution.
yeah,
I
yeah,
never shipped late, not once.
yeah. So that's a lifestyle of being able to solve problems and knowing that you could do that. So now, kind of fast forwarding a little bit, you've got the newsletter. How many subscribers at this point to the newsletter?
16,000, give or take,
Yeah.
although I got some dead wood there. I need, let's say, 14,000.
All right. Yeah, between 14 and 16,000
My
subscribers.
open rates are hover around 43%.
Yeah, world's oldest newsletter, high open rate. These are media executives, media professionals, right?
Yes, yes.
Is there a strong, like, if we were to subcategorize the media profession, what are the eyes that are most generally opening your content?
I have a broad range of readers. My impulse is to say magazine publishers, but
Yeah,
it's bigger than that.
yeah,
I have people who buy and sell paper. I have research companies as sponsor in my newsletter. It's
yeah,
it's very broad range.
yeah,
PubX is a sponsor in my newsletter. They do
yeah,
great work.
yeah, yeah. What's the feedback you generally get on your content? I'm sure you've gotten plenty over the years. So what's the common thread?
It's an interesting question. The common thread, I guess, is just thank yous for putting out information. I've become the clipping service of the industry, clipping service with a voice, because I generally send out an article and then on the top of it, I will say, this is the worst thing you're going to read this week, but you have to read it because this is what's being said you need to know.
Yes.
Or I will say, wow, this is so insightful. I learned all kinds of stuff. You should read this, and here's
Yeah.
why I think it's great. So I do a
Yeah.
Bosack Speaks Out.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes commentary on articles, sometimes just commentary without an article. Just like last night, I sent out a horrific story. The Kansas prisons are prohibiting newspapers to the inmates. That's no way for someone to revitalize their humanity. And it's a detriment to the small local publishers. So my estimate, it's all bullshit. I figured 20%. There's 9,000 prisoners in Kansas. I'm saying 20% get a $15 institutional newspaper. That means that local newspaper lost $300,000.
Wow. Yeah.
So it hurts the inmate, it hurts the publishing community, and who does it help? I have no idea. The article says that they want to prevent secret messages from reaching inmates through the classified ads.
Yeah. 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 That's
So
crazy.
anyway, I cover lots of stuff.
Yeah.
That's a tangential story, but it was important to send out.
But then you're using those stories to help people see the bigger picture, right?
Yes.
So there's a lot of curation going on. Like, this is what you need to know, and this is why you need to know it, and this is the trend that it's pointing to, and this is the greater social impact that these things are
I
having.
used to have a statement in the newsletter every day. This is the stuff you need to know to keep your job.
Yeah, right on. And because you've been there long enough. You've been there long enough. You've watched the trends. You've watched the patterns. You've watched the friggin' internet be born. You've
I
watched all
told
this
you
stuff.
I was lucky, and I was lucky in so many ways, but I've also been a circulator, a distributor, a production manager, an editor, a publisher. I sold paper for International Paper for a year and a half. So, yeah, I have a broad vision of the industry.
Okay. So now we're going to get into mission, calling. I think I've got a good sense of your superpower. I can tell you're a visionary. You don't panic. You have this massive passion for media that has led to you to do what most people wouldn't do, right? Which is the 20 years of investment, staying up till 12:05, and then just continuing after that as it began to support you as a profession. So, what would you say? You leverage all these gifts and skills and experience towards what end? What are you trying to see in the world? What are you trying to
My
change?
mission is to bring self-confidence back to every publisher, large and small. We have to move the headspace of magazines from a commodity to a luxury. We have to have every print product has to be a luxury, and it has to be paid for as a luxury. We do not charge enough to our readers. If you build quality, true quality publications, people will pay. Pay $20, $30, $40, $60 a title, boutique titles, and they sell out. So my mission is to reinstill the confidence we once had, and it's been slightly beat out of us.
Is that what you encounter? So would you say the person that comes to your doorstep, right? The person that's coming to your newsletter, the person that's coming to you to hear the rally cry that you're speaking out into the world. Are you seeing a lot of that hopelessness or lack of confidence? You seeing a
Just
mix
the
of the
opposite.
two?
I'm seeing
Yeah.
a resurgence
Yeah.
of love of print, both in the reader and in the publisher themselves.
Yeah.
We have turned the corner, and we understand as an industry who we might be. We're
Yeah.
not there yet, but we're getting there. And more titles are charging what they're worth.
Yeah. And who might we be? Like like what do you like paint that picture for what that thriving um
Monocle
publication looks
always
like?
comes to mind. Monocle's a great title.
Yeah.
Sells out, brilliantly art directed.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's more than
Scientific American has
yeah.
turned the corner. They've done an amazing job. The Atlantic has done an amazing job.
Yeah.
There are so many titles, large and small, that are just going gangbusters.
Yeah.
And now you introduce AI into all of this, and that's going to be interesting how we adapt. And my concern, you didn't ask this, but I'm going to tell
No,
you
go ahead.
anyway.
Go ahead. Yeah.
My concern with AI is we are all for-profit organizations. It's our mission to make a profit.
Yeah.
So that's the right thing to do. So we're going to use AI to all these efficiencies. All the stuff that interns and journeymen used to do are now going to be done by AI. And it's not like we're retraining people who have lost their jobs to AI. We're not retraining them. This is a whole new category. So my question is to the industry, is now middle management the entry level? If you've gotten rid of all the grunt work,
Yeah.
how does the next generation learn the process?
Yeah.
I don't have that answer. I'm curious to see how it develops.
Yeah. Well, it's a good question. Everything that I'm seeing in regards to people that are future looking at with AI is yes, middle management does become the ground floor, doesn't it? Because you're farming out the other things to AI and AI agents and stuff like that.
And are we diminishing our workforce by not having them understand how things work? I don't know. But it seems to me we might be.
And so is there a fear there that ultimately we're just reducing the number of bodies that are serving in this capacity? Is that the concern?
I read yesterday that Microsoft predicted 80 million people around the world unemployed by AI. 80 million people unemployed. How does the globe deal with that?
Right. No, it's much bigger than just publishing, right? Like it's every
It's
single
every
profession.
single industry. The number one job that's going to be eliminated is translators,
Yeah.
according to Microsoft. Makes perfect sense.
Man, that's crazy. And we don't know what we're doing with it. I mean, we don't really have a plan or a strategy as a society or a culture, like how are we going to deal with that? We're just kind of watching it happen slowly in front of us.
Yeah, that's because, every industry is its own fiefdom, and we don't coordinate all industries to have a mission to control AI. It's too many people are making too much money, uh, and we've all learned that greed is incurable.
That is true, and that is consistent, and you can go back to every historical account of every civilization, and
It's
that's the case.
historic, exactly.
Yeah. So that's the fear part of AI. Do you have a hope part? Is there a hope for what it will do for people in the industry?
I'm afraid that AI will soon be able to fake empathy.
Yeah.
And if it can fake empathy, even love, um, is it real empathy and real love? And does it matter if it's real or not? Again, a question I don't know the answer to. But when it's completely humanized, as I think it will be, um, it'll be fascinating. 'Cause here's a machine that doesn't know love, doesn't know pain, doesn't know loss, and yet it will be able to fake empathy.
Yeah. But I mean, the problem is that you will know the difference, right?
I
I mean,
won't know the difference. No, the reader won't know the difference, right?
well, I'm saying you.
Unless there's too many M spaces, then we'll know.
I see. You're talking through the written. I mean, through the written form or through the video. I guess I'm talking more along the lines of human to human, right? Human to human. The thing about AI is it's artificial, right? That
Yes.
the one thing that AI can't do is be a human, right? Like it might be able to do a lot of things, but it won't be a human. And if that matters to me,
But if not being a human, but it has human characteristics,
Sure.
it doesn't have flesh, but it can say, "Oh, Bob, I'm sorry about your loss. It was terrible. We feel your pain. Well, thank you."
Anybody can say that though. Like you could say that, like you can say, "I'm sorry for your." Like, I can be going through something, and Bo, you come up and you put your arm around me. You say, "Hey, man, it's going to be all right. I've been here before." That means something to me. Why does it mean something to me?
Yes,
Because you're Bo.
because
That's why it freaking means something to me. Because you're Bo, right?
yes,
You're,
yes, I agree.
but yes, we are going to be tested in where
We
we
have a
draw the
shared
line.
humanity. You and I have a shared humanity. We've
Yeah.
experienced things without knowing each other. We know we've experienced commonalities.
Yes. Yes. And that is not something that can be. And there may be somebody out there who's going to be like, Johnny, actually, I think you're wrong on this, but I think I'm going to kind of camp out here. You know, artificial's in the name, right? So, if I care about what is real versus what is artificial, if that matters to me, then that's going to determine some of the choices I make in who and what I trust with my time and my attention.
So, speaking of trust, what about all this copyright infringement?
Go ahead and tell me about it.
Well,
Help me see the entree. Yeah.
all the big large language machines are scraping
Yep.
the material from publishers. Most publishers don't copyright their work. They should. We're leaving money on the table. There are several people trying to bring large lawsuits, get a compendium of 1,000 publishers, small publishers. The big guys don't need the help, but the little guys whose
Yeah.
work is being scraped,
Yeah.
they need help.
Yeah.
They need to copyright their work. I believe it's only $85 a title. And then they need to figure out how to join a lawsuit to protect
I see.
their work and get revenue.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
They just gave
yeah.
$1.5 billion to book authors, anthropology, because they scraped all their work. So there's a reimbursement factor of $1.5 billion.
Wow.
Well, magazines need to get in on that too. Small magazines, every magazine should be copyrighted and join the legal fight to not have their work scraped without a fee.
Yes, because now there's precedent, right?
Yes, exactly.
When did that happen with anthropology?
2 days ago.
Really? Okay. So, and that's over? It's over and done? Verdict is, it's all?
Well, it'll be appealed, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But as of today, they need to start a reimbursement program.
Yeah. So what that means then is that the copyright becomes more important and more powerful than ever, because the ability to steal has become more powerful than ever.
Absolutely. Exactly right. Steal is the right word.
All right. Man. Okay. So now tying this back to mission, you said your mission was to give self-confidence to every publisher, large and small. And so I see that you want to give encouragement, you want to give confidence, you want to give tools and strategies, you want to give equipping and preparation for how to properly value the work that they're doing. That's what I hear, I think, even underneath what you're saying.
You said that better than I might have said it. And you're absolutely right. Without fake, get back to the fake, without fake cheerleading, because that's not what I do. I don't just cheerlead. I deliver facts and figures and who's being successful and how they're being successful and why you could be successful too. That's not cheerleading. That's teaching.
It's equipping. It's exhortation. It's calling people upward into greatness. Right? There's a greatness here for you. There's something good. There's a good future for you. There's a thriving future for you.
Such a fabulous industry. I mean, what is it that we do? We sell words and thought for a profit. What could be more lovely than that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing, man. And that is a hopeful part of this whole equation, because some of these tools are going to make it easier for people to do that on a higher level.
Absolutely. It's what we're confronted with is an achievable goal.
Yeah.
It's almost not even hard. It's an achievable goal with the right headspace.
All right. So I'm going to circle that. It's an achievable goal, It's almost easy with the right headspace. Now, for the person that hears that and they're like, "Man, dude, I'm struggling over here. So help me see my way to that." How would you encourage that person, that
Uh,
leader?
it's more than just encouragement. You have to know what's the business plan. If this person's struggling, why are they struggling? Do they have an idea that's only half thought out, or is
Yeah,
it fully fleshed out?
yeah,
Um, Only that person knows. But it's my experience that any struggling title, if it's quality, if it's well constructed, if you know who your readers are and what your readers want,
yep,
easy peasy.
yeah. I want to put you on the spot here and ask a question that, and you may not have an answer for this, but as far as business model is concerned, it sounds like you have some knowledge of being able to help move people forward in terms of business model, right? Because that's what you're describing. Like, does your business model work? Is there something flawed in your business model? Is basically what you're
Yeah,
asking.
yeah.
Who do you look up to, like, in the industry as far as like business model consulting? Because I always want to know, like, who's the leading person in terms of helping people understand their business model and getting them
Well, let
results.
me let me answer your question. A slight tangent. Bernie Mann, who publishes Our State
Yep. Yep.
magazine, is the poster child of any regional title. It is brilliant. It is clear. It is gorgeously constructed. He's my poster child for a successful publisher. And he once told me one of his secrets, although he's got many, um, he doesn't do anything negative in the title. Never anything negative.
Yeah.
And his book is going nowhere but up.
Yeah.
250 pages almost every issue.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
Can
so
it be
good.
replicated? That's the thing. Can it be
Yeah.
replicated? Absolutely. You could replicate that Our State formula in any town.
Yeah. It reminds me of that movie. There's a movie called The Edge. And it's about Anthony Hopkins gets stranded. You know, him and somebody else gets stranded. Have you seen that movie? Do you happen to remember that one?
It sounds vaguely familiar.
He's like a rich guy, and and their plane goes down, and they get stranded in like Alaska in the wilderness, and like they've got to somehow survive because nobody's coming, and and he keeps saying, "What one man can do, another can do. What one man can do, another can do." So he's like, "Well, people have survived here, so we can do it." And other people are freaking out, and Anthony Hopkins just keeps figuring stuff out and keeps surviving. But what one publisher can do, another can do, right? I
Yeah,
think.
you're back to what I said a half an hour ago, where don't panic, there's always an answer. Even if you're stranded, don't panic. Other people have been here, there is an answer.
There is an answer, man. That's a hope strategy versus a fear strategy, which, man, that's a big way. That's a big part of how I try to live my life because fear doesn't generally help me. Generally, if I sink down into fear, it's actually hurting me. It's making me smaller. It's making me less creative. It's making me less willing to risk in the ways that I need to risk. Whereas hope actually makes me larger and empowers me. And it's a very personal struggle to try to get to that place,
So,
right?
Johnny, you strike me as a similar personality to myself in that you know you can solve any problem that's confronted to you. You know it. You just know it in your heart. I can fix this.
Yeah. I would say I if I to get really deep, like if you were to say, Johnny, what's your kryptonite? Because I know my superpower. My superpower is authentic connection for mutual progress. Connection is like I just love to connect with people, and I do connect with people, and people love to connect with me. And I go to the gas station and I leave with a friend, and I go to my kid's soccer game or basketball game and I leave with a friend. Like that's my superpower that I'm always doing. Um, and a lot of the communities and initiatives that I'm doing are because of that. But if you go to my weakness, my kryptonite is insecurity, right? It can be people pleasing. It can be fear that stems from, failing people. And so I have had to, I don't, naturally speaking, I tend towards fear,
Hmm,
but I don't live that way. I don't,
hmm.
I've learned not to live that way because fear is not my friend. Right. And so there has been a lot of soul searching and, reflection and transformation that's gone into, yes, I do actually approach life, I think, similar to the way that you approach it. I just had to come by it differently because of my natural constitution hasn't led me that direction.
There are destinations, but different roads lead to the same place.
Different roads, man. Yep. Yeah. But I so appreciate, I mean, there's a lot that I appreciate about this conversation. First of all, just the voice that you have comes through so loud and clear. Like it's a voice of encouragement and challenge. It's a voice that's not coddling. It's not in the cheerleading in the sense of being trite, but it's like, no, you actually believe this. You're calling people towards a bright future that you actually believe in.
See it, I taste it. I am a futurist, and I've been right for 50 years.
Yeah.
In describing the production cycle and what will be. I've been remarkably accurate in putting things out early that people need to worry about.
Yeah. I have a little bit of a wandering question here, and then I'm going to go get us back on track, and we'll talk about your big dream. But you're aware of what John Garrett's doing over at Community Impact? Is he on your radar?
No.
Oh, you're gonna love John Garrett, man. Like that dude, he is so bullish with print, but he's bullish in the sense of he loves print, but he loves print for its ability to be leveraged with other things. And so he bought this man bought a paper printing facility. Like they bought one, and so there's just so much excitement in his movement. And the voice and the thought and the heart that he has for the industry reminds me of you. So put him on your radar.
Printed magazines are the most trusted media vehicle. It beats TV, it beats radio, print. It's trusted.
Yeah. There's there's been a lot of talk about it's going away and it doesn't have a future. And then so you have some people that are saying that and they have their statistics and their reasons. And you have other people like John Garrett that are saying, no, it is irreplaceable for what it does, and we need to learn how to leverage it together with our other assets to create a higher impact.
The appetizer of our media platform, and it's tasteful, and it brings you in. It's the start of a wonderful, generous thought meal, but you have to back it up with other revenue streams. So print is the core or the appetizer. And then you need to have new revenue streams, which is an achievable goal.
Yeah. So you said the appetizer of our
media industries. Because appetizers are usually, made with care. They look good, smell good. Well, that's a magazine. It looks good, it smells good, and it teaches you stuff you didn't know you wanted to know.
When did you fall in love with print and with what it can do and with the smell of it? I can tell, man. You love it. You love.
I do. So my first newspaper, The Express, was 50,000 weekly circulation in the metropolitan New York area. And my first trip to the printing plant, it was like magic. You smell the solvent. I followed my boards into being photographed, then stripped onto goldenrod and then plated and then put on the press, and the press is rolling, and it was just intoxicating to me. And I can bring back that exact moment anytime.
Man,
it was thrilling.
Yeah.
And I've been on hundreds of press OKs, and it's still thrilling. I was actually a pressman early on. I ran Multiliths and A.B. Dix, so I understood the ink and water balance. So later on, when I became a production director, well, I speak that language. I did it.
Yeah, man. Well, the love comes through, because there's certain things you just can't fake, man. And so, it's my honor and my privilege and my joy to draw out and highlight the passion, like the authentic passion that is in you. And I can see why you have a following. I can see why, right? Because it's attractive. It's inspiring. It makes people want to aim higher. I'm grateful for you, man, and what you're doing in the world.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you want to keep your job, you got to read my newsletter.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I'm gonna get behind you on that. So what's your dream? What's the we talked a lot about your mission, and I think your mission and who you are and your heart. Paint me the picture of what you'd like to see in the world ultimately from the fruit of your labors.
It's not a hard question, but to articulate it properly, I want to see magazines reclaim the status that it once had. We were the king of the hill. We used to be the easiest way to advertise, and now printing has sort of become the hardest way to advertise, which makes no sense. But I want us to have that self-worth that we mentioned earlier. I want us to change the public's perception of print, not just magazines, newspapers as well. These are all foundations of a healthy democracy, and we need to protect a healthy democracy, and that is through information distribution.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me one metric by which, like, 20 years from now, you look back and you say, oh, I remember when I told Johnny that big dream and it happened, right? What concrete thing happened to
I'm
make?
going to answer you in a funny way, I think. My biggest pet peeve, I understand precisely why it is this way, but it makes no sense. Why do we print 10 magazines and only sell 3? There's this law, this universal law that if you don't have a stack of magazines, you're not going to sell the magazines. I want us to I want us to fix that. I want 100% sell through. I want us the AI to so analyze the distribution process that I can print 3 and sell 3 instead of
Yes.
print 10 and sell 3.
Yes.
That's my goal.
Yes. I love it.
Will
man.
that ever happen? I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, how would it happen? Well, you're saying AI would be one way. People
Well,
becoming.
one way, and the other way is consignment. There are no returns. So then the retailers themselves will necessitate a decrease in circulation.
Ah, all right. So then because they'll have to eat it if they don't sell it all, basically, which means that they would have to be placing a higher value on the product that you're giving them, right? So that would be a consequence. Like I can totally see the trickle down. That would be a consequence of a higher perception or a higher perceived value.
Name me another industry that makes 10 and sells 3
Yeah.
and throws away 7. I
Yeah.
can't think of another industry that's burdened like that.
And is that common? Is that like, are you speaking averages? Is that like typically what happens? Or
Oh yeah, that's the industry average. It's actually gone down. We sell under 3. It's like 2.7 now out
Yeah.
of 10.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I hear it so loud and clear. You were like, value, 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 man. Value your product. This thing is beautiful. It smells good. It looks good. It's wonderful. Value it. Don't
Yeah,
undervalue
it is good. It's brain food.
Yeah. Yeah,
Feed
man.
the brain.
Feed the brain. Bo, it's been an absolute pleasure. I knew this was going to be fun.
It was fun. Thank you. It was a enjoyable conversation. You are A-OK in my book.
A-OK. Hey, man. Bo said I'm A-OK. So if I wasn't legit before, the founder of the oldest newsletter in America just said.
An accolade to Johnny. You're a very good
Absolutely, accolade.
conversationalist. You're a warm man. I can tell you have heart. I thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. And anybody who stayed with us up to the end, that's Bo Sachs for you. Incredible man, incredible heart. Thank you for spending time with us today, and we will see you next time. Take it easy.